Well, not much different to report. Analyzing tape, it's hard to beat a team like that when, we have 3 turnovers, first and foremost, and then, we couldn't run the ball as effectively as we would like to. We did some decent stuff early on, and, as the game went on, then we got behind in the fourth quarter. That always makes it tough. But, that was kind of a big thing there. And on defense, our defense played really, really well at times. And I think the big thing, is just that fourth quarter, is being able to finish on both sides. We had 2 series where it was 3 and out. We have penalty. Well, against a team like that, a defense like that, it's very hard to overcome as soon as you do that. And, then we have another 3 and out. And then on the other side of the ball, we couldn't stop them, the last 2 drives. And so, we got to figure out a way to be a better finishing team in the fourth quarter without question. And some of that is, it's not want to, it's execution, it's confidence, it's belief, it's all those type of things. We're doing everything in our power and practice to try to recreate some of those situations. So.
Anything that indicates to you that confidence and that belief isn't there?
Well, you can't give somebody confidence. So you got to go out and earn it. And we can only coach them how we coach them and get them dialed in the meetings and everybody's locked in and, go back. We're playing good football teams that have played better than us. But you got to go out and earn it.
How impactful do you think the option play was on 33 in the first half that wasn't converted? You guys wound up punting. How impactful do you think?
Which option play?
The one that only gained 1 and then you guys wound up punting. It was in the first half, I think.
Oh, yeah. They're all, First half, we were hanging in there. To me, it's the second half, in particular the fourth quarter. That's where we got to do better.
Can you tell us a little bit about maybe your conversation with Jacob? And it just seemed like he maybe at times was trying to force things a little bit.
Yeah, it was. And we had a lot of other chances. It's never going to come down to any one guy. And then the quarterback's got the ball in his hands every play, and it's a difficult position. And so, there's a couple throws. Obviously, he'd love to have back, but even with all that being said, we still had some other chances to get some things done. We're talking about in the fourth quarter on both sides of the ball. And so, I kind of go back. I think he's learning every game. And he's played well, and a lot of them, and there's some learning opportunities you just can't get except for in the game. It's the second year of college football playing.
I'm sure you've had conversations with him about pressure in the pocket and just how to handle that and that spin thing.
Yes, we don't get much of that in practice, and so we're trying to emphasize and stay in the pocket. That's your game. Step up, not out, and so we'll keep working on that.
3 games left and probably a bowl game. That puts that magic number at 4. 4 games left.
Yeah.
4 games that guys who haven't played that could still play in the games richer. How's that impact the depth of guys playing? Is there some guys that we can expect to see in the next 4 games?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to change much in terms of the guys that you haven't seen. We're trying to get Ty in the mix. But the other guys, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's another guy that hasn't played in, some significant games, 3 games, or, Fatui's played in 3 games. He's got 1 left. Some of the other guys, at this point, we're still probably holding tight.
You guys inserted Eddie Ulofoshio a little bit in the second level. What had he done before that to kind of earn that opportunity?
Yeah, he seems to make plays. Is why he's earned it. He's still a young player that's still learning that position inside. In high school he was kind of on the outside, but when you put him in there, he seems to kind of do some things that make plays. He was one of the guys that ended up causing the fumble. He's caused the fumble on a kickoff, and So we're just trying to force the issue a little bit and see if he can do more.
We've seen little bits of Marcus Spiker too the last couple of weeks. What is the next step for him in his process?
It's probably just keep doing what he's doing. You know, he's been practicing better. So yeah, that's really what it is. And then we put him in the game, and he's been able to, you know, attack the ball. And that's one thing I think we really like about him. He's, you know, he's a rangy guy that can attack the ball, and if you get around him, he's got pretty sticky hands.
How thin are you at running back right now? I mean, you've got Richard Newton around. I noticed Cam.
Yeah.
He's got a cast on his hand.
Yeah. We've still got guys. We do. And that, you know, I've been telling you guys forever, that's the position. You know, everybody likes to go, oh, you got all this depth. No, you don't. I mean, it's just a matter of time. And as soon as one guy gets dinged, the next guy's right behind the, you know, right next to him because they take more reps. But I mean, we're in okay shape. That's not a problem at this point.
Palmer's not raising his hand saying I can.
Yeah, not yet.
Is Cam Davis out for a while?
Cam Davis can play. We can play. He's practicing full speed and all that stuff. So.
He got a couple snaps in the game, but didn't play that much versus
You saw where he's at. A couple snaps in the game. Each week we're progressing.
You guys got the first and goal at the 8-yard line on your last possession there.
Yes.
Still had all 3 timeouts left. What led to calling one right there rather than sitting?
Well, because we got to score. We got to get our best stuff in. You know, it took us 4th down. I mean, that's not an ideal situation, using 19 plays to score. And we're just eating clock. You're only going to get so many possessions. And so when we're down there, we better score. The chance of getting an onside kick is less than 10%. And so, you know, yeah, you got to save the timeouts if you get the ball, if you get it on it, but you got to score first or it's a moot point. And so we were just taking a lot of time and felt it's best to use one there. Still didn't get the onside kick, so is that what you're talking about?
Well, I just mean the idea of if you have all 3, you can, in theory, kick it back off to them, use all 3 to stop the clock on their possession.
If you score. If you score. And so, you know, we don't want to call bad play and waste it and not score. I mean, it took us 4 downs to score. So.
If you look at film, was anything different that pops out in terms of the pass rush from first half to second half and being less effective down the stretch?
Not really. I mean, guys were just defeating one-on-one blocks and, you know, those type of things. And, you know, I think the whole thing, there's nothing that popped out even like in the 4th quarter on both sides of the ball, like what is showing up here. It's just they executed better than we did, you know. I mean, on offense, it's a really good defense, and we pound the ball in there for no yards, and then we throw it. And so they executed at crunch time better than we did. And you can, on the other side, the same thing. They drove the ball and couldn't get off the field. And those 3rd downs, we had 3 3rd downs that were just like crushing, you know, in that last quarter. We couldn't do it.
Chris, you're talking about confidence, obviously, an Oregon State team that's got some confidence into this game.
Yeah. I mean, they do. I mean, you know, I think it's awesome for, you know, Jonathan and those guys down there. I mean, that's a lot of hard work, and those guys have, you know, been building that thing up and setting their process in place all last year, and now you're kind of starting to see the fruits of their labor. And you know, those kids play hard down there. And I mean, it's showing up. I mean, that's why they're winning. They're on a 2-game win streak, and I think their offense is, you know, I think they're kind of laying in the weeds down there. You know, no one's really talking about those guys. And they got a big-time quarterback. They got 2 excellent running backs. They got maybe the best receiver in the Pac-12. More touchdowns, more yards, more all this stuff than everybody. They got some shifty speed guys as well. So they're doing a nice job, and they're building their confidence, and they're playing well.
You always want to play at home. That's a given. But sometimes does it help to kind of be able to take the team on the road and kind of, you know?
I like playing at home. I think our fans are awesome, and they were great on Saturday. And, you know, you could feel them loud and clear, and I think we all like playing at home.
I guess, yeah, that's bad questions. It's anti-home fans. I guess distractions.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're home or away, there's distractions, right? If you pay attention to it, and there's a lot of distractions out there. If we, my blood pressure is fine until I come in here and I've talked to you guys, no offense. And because I don't look at that stuff, and I do my best to keep telling our team, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, you know how it goes. And so you pay attention to that. That's where your mind goes. You pay attention to what we're trying to get done here, we'll get things straight.
You know Jonathan pretty well. Jonathan knows you pretty well.
Yep.
How's that impacted?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting if you really knew what was going on in the game last year in terms of the things that were called and that hadn't been called all season, and then here it comes with all this different stuff. And so yeah, there were some interesting things going on last year, I thought.
When you see, everything that Hunter Bryant can do with the ball, is he the most dynamic tight end that you've coached athletically?
He's probably, I'm trying to think back. He's certainly up there in terms of the wide receiver, dynamic ball in his hands type guy for sure. And, it comes very natural to him. And I think he's working hard on the other part of his game, to be able to play down there in the box a little bit and making progress there as well. But he's a natural, a natural catcher and a really competitive guy when that ball's in the air. That's what you really like about him.
Those aspects of his game, were those immediately evident when you started recruiting him, whatever, as a sophomore or whatever that was in high school?
Yeah, you never know until you get them here, I always say that. You just don't know how guys are going to, every part of this program, you just don't know how they're going to adjust and handle the whole thing. But we certainly thought that, and a lot of people did that were, recruiting him. But, like I always say, some guys are maybe a little better than you thought. Some guys are maybe not quite whatever. And I think just his ball skills and how he's going to compete at this level is probably, better than we thought, because you really don't know until you get him here. But he can go get the ball.
What has Terrell Bynum done these past 2 weeks to not get more opportunities to really become that number one?
It's not the last 2 weeks. I keep saying that. There's a lot leading up to that. Everybody thinks just these 2 weeks and they put it on. It doesn't just happen that we throw guys out there, and I know that's what a lot of people want to do. Like, if you're not successful at one position, we'll just give another guy a chance. We do. We give them a lot of chances in a less competitive environment in practice. And if they can't get it done there better than somebody else, then we're not going to put them in the game and go, yeah, I bet they're just a gamer. Like, that doesn't happen. So Terrell's been, coming on strong. Terrell got a lot of meaningful reps last year, even though we didn't throw him balls. And then he's just continually building. And then we've had him in there a lot more in passes early in the season. Ball didn't come his way as much. And now it's just starting to come his way. And then you start moving a guy around a little bit to maybe make the odds go in his favor. But he's done a nice job for a long period of time, to tell you the truth, in terms of just getting better.
What's your thought on where you guys are at depth-wise at inside linebacker?
Yeah.
Both this year and
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we got 2 old guys and a bunch of young guys. And that kind of happens sometimes through, attrition, and guys don't make it here, and, DJ Beavers medically retiring and all those things. And that's part of the game. And, a lot of times, you look at positions and you're always, a year or two in advance when you're trying to build your group. Each coach is responsible for their group and what it looks like. And every now and again, you get thrown a curveball where it's like, this guy didn't make it, this guy got medical retired, this guy's not quite as good as we thought, whatever it is. And you can get yourself in, a position depth-wise.
It looks like Jonathan's got Oregon State kind of going on a path towards, success.
Yep.
What about him that you saw as an assistant coach made you think that he would be a successful head coach?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff just starts with the type of, it always starts with the type of person you are. I really do. I mean, that's what leadership, all these type of things are. It's like, is a guy grounded and solid just as a dude? And, because you're going to go through some hard things, and you're going to change who you are, and you're going to overreact and all those. And, Jonathan's one of the most even keel, mellow guys that I've been around, and that can suit you pretty well in certain situations. I know it can as a play caller. And, so he's an awesome guy, and, is doing a great job down there.
When you suffer a couple losses like this, do you feel the need to change anything about your message to recruits or reassure anybody, or is it just, keep being consistent with what your message
is? It is what it is. I mean, like I said, it's not, to me, this thing is, if it's as finicky as 1 year when it's not, or 1 year when you win it, you got to look at body of work. You got to look at the philosophy of a program. You got to look at the university you're coming to. And that's what I think our guys do. And there's no message change. Why would we change our message? We're not going to change who we are. Sometimes this thing goes, the ball bounces your way. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you play two, really good teams back to back. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're young. And it's just all those things. That's life. So our message doesn't change.
You've got 2 byes late in the season. You got a Friday night game and then a bye afterwards. Do you get any input whatsoever on scheduling?
With you saying that, what do you think? What do you think? Not even kind of. It is what it is. I'm glad we're playing on a short week, just the way things have gone. I want to get out there and we want to go play. It was awesome to not have to sit around the office all day today and put in place. We went out there and practice. It was great. Get to play sooner. And then we'll go play in a handful of days and reload. Yep.
Anything else, Ruben?